Hey, Colin.
How's it going?
It's great. How are you?
Good, good.
We got a lot to talk about, my friend. So why don't you explain the origins of Lumi? Because I was fascinated to find out that it's really focused around comic book illustrators, graphic novels, things like that. And I thought, Colin Kaepernick. So please, indulge us.
Yeah, so part of this came out of 10 years building a media company, 5 years building a publishing company, and seeing the challenges that creators faced. But the other part was I grew up on comics. And we had a whole stash of comic books. We had boxes and boxes of them. My brother is actually the one who really got me into them. He's 10 years older than me. We used to have sounds a little sketchy now, but there was a house down the couple blocks away we'd ride our bikes to, and the living room was just comic books. So we'd go through and grab the ones we wanted and go back home. But as I went deeper down, creating graphic novels, being on the publishing side, and seeing the challenges that creators were facing, whether it's writers, illustrators, inkers, colorists, what we found is a lot of them are living paycheck to paycheck, project to project. They actually aren't creating the things that they want to because they're just looking for that next gig, and a lot of them have their own ideas that they want to bring to life and are just looking for the avenue and opportunity to do so.
Is your company focused around the kind of creative tool and support part, the distribution part, because that's important with publishing too? Where does it come into play if you're one of those folks?
Yeah, both of those.
Okay.
So very focused on creating that tool set for creators to give you AI assistance where and if you need it. So you can go on the platform and create and never touch AI if you don't want to, or you can use it through the process to help you. And then that is distributed directly on the platform, trying to solve that distribution issue that a lot of creators face.
How does this company make money? Because that's the number one question when you're talking about media and publishing.
Absolutely. So a few different ways. First way is we do a monthly subscription. That's our immediate revenue generator. But as we look more broadly, we have on-demand publishing for physical publishing. We've realized creators want that, they need it, and it's a way for us to do that profitably from the first copy sold, which is if anybody has worked in the publishing industry, you know that's a very difficult space to work in and be profitable, so we solve that. And then the last piece is we help with the merchandising of the stories that they're creating. And I've released graphic novel, multiple children's books. I've talked to a bunch of artists around this. And what we've realized, a lot of them aren't merchandising very well. And I actually didn't merchandise my own projects because it wasn't an easy process to be able to do that. So that's something that we're looking to solve for them as well.
Right. What's harder, publishing or football?
Depends which part. I mean, the physical toll, football definitely harder. Figuring out how to be profitable and scale a publishing company is no small feat.
Yeah, fair. So what is the status of Lumi right now? Like, where are you at in terms of a product? Where are you headed?
Yeah, so right now we have a product, beta testers on the platform. Interesting enough, we actually have contracts with schools signed right now. And they're looking to use that as something to advance learning, project-based learning, to help literacy rates, student voice, student engagement. So seeing a lot of traction there in use cases that they want to elevate students with.
How is your company handling IP? We've talked about copyright and concerns about that on this stage already today.
Yeah. I think that's the big question throughout the industry. How we look at it is creators own everything that they create on the platform. Anything that they bring to the platform, they own. We're not touching that. We don't want to touch it. We want to be a space where creators are owning the content because that gives them longevity. Mm-hmm. And if we're serving them in the best way possible, that creates a much more reciprocal relationship. And it also pushes us to be the best company that we can be for creators. We don't want anybody controlled or constrained by that. So guess a great point around that, if someone creates a breakout comic or graphic novel, they could take that and sell it to Netflix or Disney or any other platform. Nothing that we're doing on our end to restrict that in any way.
Got it. I'm going to come to the audience for questions in just a minute, but I want to ask you one more. You've already raised funds for this company. That took you on the show with investors. What did you learn from that experience?
Very similar experience to playing football.
Please go on.
Yeah. So what you realize is you aren't going to be everybody's cup of tea. In football, when I was getting drafted, even when I was going to college, you always looked at it as it only takes one. You need one person to believe in you, and then that gets the ball rolling. And ultimately, you want to have a chance to be in the game. We found some great investors that supported us in that way. So to any other founders or people looking to raise funds, you're going to get a lot of no's through that process. Keep going and just look for that one person that truly believes in you and is going to support you.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the audience for questions, please. Questions for Colin? Oh, yes, right up here. Please wait for the mic. Your name and who you're with when you get it. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Lorenzo Pinkele, and I have worked for a while with The Economist. So I think it's great what you're doing, especially trying to help the community and people with low resources to create content to sell, etc. So I'm curious to, especially because I've worked for a long time, mobile apps, engagement, subscriptions, etc. I would like to understand what do you think is the best way to grow your platform, but at the same time making sure that it's affordable for people with low resources. And are you partnering with any other, let's say, third-party companies that will help you perhaps, or get them like free credits, like, I don't know, like to publish on Amazon Books, or to, like get some sort of partnerships with publications to, help those with low income? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question. So that is actually part of the foundation of why we built the platform. So right now, subscriptions start $20 to $75 a month. So we take a tiered approach to make sure we're trying to give access to people who may be financially constrained. The other part, to step back and look at the difference in where we're at on this, is if you look at the lowest bar of where creators are typically entering a publishing space today, typically it is through a Kickstarter, and they're raising $5,000 to $10,000 to get a project off the ground. So we're drastically lowering that barrier. Now, if you look at projects that I've done in the past, typically you're looking at a six-figure investment, and you're looking at a 2+ year production timeline before it ever sees the light of day. So we're trying to break down both the expense and the speed of creation for creators to be able to get their ideas out into the world.
Right on. Another question for Colin, please. Yes, right up here in the front. Hey, Stephen.
Stephen Wolf Pineda. I'm the CEO of Alpha & Company, but before that I started a kids media company focused on diverse kids media called Encantos. And one of the great areas for creators to really monetize their IP is actually with merchandising. Do you envision the platform actually expanding into products and giving the ability to actually have storefronts? Just because there's so much more to just the content, it's actually all of the merchandise.
1,000%. You are dead on with how we were thinking about it. One of the things that we realize is the people who are consuming the content, the people who are buying the books, are also the people that are most likely to buy the merchandise. Like, it's a natural progression. Most people aren't doing it. And the ones who are, actually, they don't love the process of doing it. They just do it as a means to an end. So we want to help simplify that process all the way through for the creator. From creation, taking that idea to a finished product, to the publishing, to the merchandising. So one, they can create the things they actually want to. And two, they don't have to worry about being the business owner, the operator, handling all the logistics. Every creator we've talked to has been like, I just want to create. I don't want to do those things, but a lot of them end up doing it because they have to today.
Yeah.
And those are barriers that we can break down.
Yeah. I understand that mindset very well, by the way. Let me ask you a question, Colin. You've gone on this this journey, post football every morning. By the way, are you still training?
Of course.
Okay, you heard it here. He's still training.
I was training before I got on my flight to come out here.
Oh, now you're making me feel bad. Okay, so I would love to understand, who you see as a mentor for this part of your career, whether that's in Silicon Valley or somewhere else.
That's a great question. I think there have been a few different people that have really helped me get to where I'm at today. One has been in the VC community. Ben Horowitz has been a great person to lean on.
Sure.
Has given me phenomenal insight. Ev Williams has been another one who has really helped me my thinking. Having the opportunity to sit on the board of Medium has been incredibly insightful and very helpful for my own development. And the other one, just thinking about where I'm at today, is Alexis, Christina, the 776 team,
Sure.
Who is our lead investors. They're incredibly brilliant and also great people. So to be able to have them to lean on, ask for guidance, and also just pick their brains on things that we're working on. How we can scale things more effectively, how we can reach creators more effectively, especially when you have someone like Alexis who's built Reddit. You have a great person to be able to lean on in that regard.
And an enthusiastic one. All right, well, let's
Yes.
go for one more question. I think there was one over here, but I cannot recall. Oh, it's way over here. Yes. Hey, Carol.
Hi, I'm Carol Vantenhente. I chair Responsible AI for Mars Incorporated, but outside of that, I'm actually an author. So I have a question because I know a lot of authors have negative feelings when it comes to AI. They feel that it's stealing their copyright, their IP. How do you overcome those objections to launch Lumi? And thanks for your great work.
Oh, of course. It's a phenomenal question, and we have talked to a lot of writers about it. I think one is understanding that AI isn't going to do the work for you. Two is understanding that most of the writers are already using AI, they just don't know it as AI. We talked to a lot of writers that were hesitant, they wanted to see the platform, what it was. As we talked to them and they showed us their workflow, most of them are using Grammarly and the AI in their workflow already. Then as we get them on the platform and they see how it actually works and how we're looking to engage with them, we aren't looking to do the work for them. And we're looking to be there to be helpful in that process. If they need help brainstorming ideas, if they're struggling and they hit writer's block and they're looking for, where can I go with this? Where can I take it? So we're looking to help them through that process, but they also have the opportunity to use it as much or as little as they want. And that's one of the things that was really important for us, both on the writers and the illustrator side, is making sure that they have the opportunity to opt out if they want to, or engage when they do want to.
Fantastic. Colin, thank you so much for joining Fortune Brainstorm AI.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please.
Thanks for having me.